and welcome back to episode 75 of Sooner Girl Sports Pod. And if you're watching the video, you can see I have on my Boomer Sooner baseball shirt. I got this at one of the games this season. The schedule's on the back. I'm still in baseball mode. I'm fresh off of my trip to the College World Series in Omaha, which we will talk about here shortly. But before we get to that and the Sooner headlines of the week, let's go ahead and thank my sponsors of the show, Therapy to Go in Ardmore, the funnest place in town to drive through for a drink, and you don't even have to get out of your car. They have a large variety of spirits as well as fountain drinks and snacks, and you can also do a call ahead order, pull right in, and they will put it into the back of your car. It doesn't get any better than that. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram at Therapy to Go Ardmore. So go see my friends Melissa and Allison and tell them that Larissa from Center Girl Sports Pod sent you for a free koozie. Also, thank you to my friends at Marvin's Place Art Gallery, a fine art gallery and listening room located in the Depot District in Ardmore, Oklahoma. Come experience amazing artwork, and on Friday nights, visit the Listening Room, an intimate and unplugged venue. We host singer and songwriters on Friday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Relax with a glass of wine or craft beer and enjoy some wonderful music. You can find out more, including links to all of their social media, the music calendar, and all of the artwork and jewelry available at the gallery on their website at marvinsplace.gallery. For my injury report of the week, I just want to mention our catcher, Dayton LaChance, did roll his ankle during the Alabama game this past Saturday. I haven't heard any update on that other than Toby Rowland tweeted out earlier today, as I'm recording this on Monday afternoon, that he was on the lineup to play. If his ankle allowed him to catch, that is what he was going to do. If not, he would be a designated hitter. So it's nothing serious. He just had that ankle taped up. He actually hit a home run not long after he rolled that ankle as he was running to second. He still continued to catch behind the dish the entire game. But he hit that home run and he hobbled around the bases, and it was truly like a heroic moment for him. But just did want to mention about Dayton's ankle. It is nothing serious, thank goodness. So we should be able to still have him for the duration of the series. Moving on to our Sooner headlines of the week, let's just go right into baseball and talk about the World Series. Going into the College World Series, the Sooners have hit 35 home runs in the last 13 games. That was 40% of their full season total. Thank you to Toby Rowland for that. Also, OU has the fourth most College World Series appearances in the SEC with 12, and we have way more than A&M, Georgia, Tennessee, Auburn, Bama, and Vandy, tied with Arkansas and Mississippi State for those appearances. Pretty impressive, and I bet the average SEC baseball fan has no idea, so keep that in your brain in case you need to throw that back out later. As a fun fact, also want to give a shout out to Dayton LaChance for being the ABCA All-Region player and a perfect game All-American from the postseason. So shout out to our guy Dayton. On to game one of the College World Series versus Bama on Saturday afternoon. An incredible 9-0 shutout win in game one for the Sooners of the College World Series, the largest shutout in the College World Series since 2000. Cord Rager, freshman on the mound, truly put on a show like you would not believe. His final line included career high innings of 7, 8 strikeouts, and allowed just 3 hits and no runs. He walked in one batter in 19 postseason innings, so pretty incredible outing for our freshman pitcher. It's one of the best postseason performances by an OU pitcher in school history. Pretty close to a flawless day for the Sooners in that opener. Again, Cord Rager was phenomenal. Offense continued to be on a roll. Dayton LaChance, again, with that home run as he hobbled around the bases after rolling his ankle. Defense was absolutely spectacular. I actually had a couple of random people come up to me, Alabama fans, after the game as they saw I was wearing my OU gear, and mentioned how incredible our defense was. LJ Mercurius shut it down on the back end to close out that game after Cord Rager had such an excellent outing on the mound. OU has outscored our opponents 30-3 in the last 3 games. Sooners also have scored 68 runs in the last 9 games. It's the first Sooners shutout in the College World Series in 51 years and only the third one ever of all time. Each win in the OU postseason has somehow outdone the other, and that is the truth. Just to further prove that, here's a couple of stats that are very interesting. On April the 8th, Dayton LaChance had no home runs. Mercurius was getting shelled. Rager was out hurt for several weeks. Harris barely played. Taki was hitting .184. What a miraculous turnaround those guys have seen. But today they're sitting at 16 home runs, a locked down reliever, an ace in Cord Rager, the batting average leader, and a walk-off hero with Dayton Taki, just truly incredible. Quick. I seriously cannot say enough about my experience in Omaha. I had the absolute best time. We got there on Thursday. We were there for their open practice in the stadium, got to walk around before it got too crowded. I've posted tons of photos on my social media at Sooner Girl Pod on all platforms, so I hope that you'll go and give them a look. Again, on Friday, my husband and I attended the 2 games on Friday as well. We had Jello shots at Rocco's to help contribute to the Oklahoma tally. We had some delicious pizza at Orsi's Italian Bakery. We, of course, had an ice cream cone from Zesto, toured the College World Series Village, had a delicious acai bowl made by our guy Dayton LaChance. There was a company there who reached out to a standout player on each of the World Series teams to design their own acai bowl. And that was what they were selling there. And so I had Dayton's and it was really good. I reached out to him on Instagram, told him to stop by and see them. And it was just a really cool, a little tidbit in the College World Series little shopping village there. I also went to the team send-off at the team hotel on Saturday morning before the game, headed to the Sooner Club Bash at DJ's Dugout across the street from the team hotel before the game as well. I ran into so many great people all morning long at the game, at the stadium afterwards. The game ended just in time before a thunderstorm hit. I'm not joking. If that game had lasted even maybe 5 minutes longer, we probably would have had a lightning delay and had to finish it later that night. So glad that did not happen. We woke up Saturday morning to black skies, red radar rolling through Omaha. It obviously cleared out in time for game time. But I want to give a shout out to everybody that I ran into on Saturday. And I hope that I do not forget anyone. I met Barry Switzer at the team hotel. On my way out the door, I also ran into men's basketball coach Porter Moser, women's basketball coach Jenny Baranchek, and softball player Ella Parker. Also got to meet Dayton Taki's mom, Christy, who's become quite the internet sensation this postseason. Also ran into my friend Mallory. Shout out Mallory, my girl from my locker room ladies group. Haven't seen her in 20 years, so thankful again for social media for keeping in touch with amazing friends like that. Also ran into my new friend Kristen Cleveland that I have connected with on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter, and was so glad to meet her and her mom. So shout out to Kristen. And also ran into my guys Johnny Baseball and Brandon Schultz, the host of the Oklahoma Baseball Experience podcast. If you don't give them a listen, I highly recommend doing so. They host a lot of our players and coaches on the podcast each season. Also shout out to my friends Gabe and Candace, who drove up from Oklahoma. Also my friend Kyle, met up with them as well, got to hang out with them. So always just a great time to make new Sooner friends and meet old friends and just cheer on Sooner Nation. It was so much fun, just an incredible weekend in Omaha. I hated that I had to come home, but unfortunately, duty calls, adulting calls, and I had to get back to Oklahoma. But as I'm recording this segment on Monday afternoon, I'm getting ready to go watch our second game in the College World Series on Monday night as we are facing Georgia. Kyle Branch, his brother Colby, plays for Georgia. They're going to have that matchup tonight. So I'm going to record a segment that I will place after this in the podcast to catch up on the Monday night game. And then depending on the results of the Monday night game, will determine when we play next. So I will announce that on the next segment right after this that I'm going to record after the game. But a couple more things I wanted to share on the baseball front. For the Georgia game tonight, the matchup against Georgia in the College World Series means that OU baseball has now faced the ACC regular season and tourney champs in Georgia Tech that we beat in regionals in Atlanta, the Big 12 regular season and tourney champs in Kansas that we beat in supers last weekend, and then the SEC regular season and tourney champs in Georgia. We faced all of those teams in this year's NCAA tournament. So quite the road our guys have had thus far in the postseason. Now, their journey does not end today. We do have at least 2 more games. It's double elimination. So again, I'm going to record a segment after this game tonight to update on the status of the team and the next time that they play. But I'm looking forward to a great week in Omaha with our guys. And shout out to all of my friends who are still in Omaha cheering loud like a champion. I'm so thankful. Sooner Nation showed out on Saturday. I know a lot of people were still staying over And so I hope more can continue to stay and even travel up later in the week if we are still there. Okay, guys, I am recording this right after the baseball win over Georgia on Monday night, the 15th. And holy smokes, you guys, I actually had to take a little bit of time before coming in to record this to kind of compose myself. I'm not going to lie, I definitely was super nervous toward the end of the game. As Toby said, if you're not nauseous, you're not doing this right. Well, I can assure you I was doing it right, because that was one heck of a ball game. And what a win for the Sooners. We are one win away from being able to play for a national championship in the College World Series. And if you had told anyone this weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, I don't know that anyone would have ever in a million years believed that this team would be where they are right now. But what an incredible win. 4-3 win in a nail biter over Georgia just tonight. As I'm recording this, Jackson Willits came out of the gate right off the bat, hitting a home run. Brendan Brock, my guy, hit a home run. Xander Mercurius, freshman on the mound. What an incredible outing for him. And it's just so crazy to think the last two games in the College World Series on the biggest stage, we've had two freshmen absolutely ball out. Cord Rager on Saturday against Bama, and then tonight again, Xander Mercurius, freshman, getting it done on the mound, 7 full innings. That's his longest outing of the season. He had 9 Ks, 6 hits, and 3 runs. What an outing for Xander. A 9th save of the season for Jackson Cleveland as he comes in to close out the game. We have guaranteed a top 4 finish in the College World Series with this win. We are one win away from playing for a national championship. We will play the winner of Texas and Georgia on Wednesday evening. So the losers bracket, Texas and Georgia, will play on Tuesday evening, and we get the winner of that game on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. So the day that this episode drops, Texas and Georgia will have played the night before, and we will get that winner on Wednesday night, 6 o'clock. That loser goes home in the double elimination round. So again, we are one win away from being able to play for a national championship. Now, if we win on Wednesday night, we're automatically in, and the Champ Series starts on Saturday. If we happen to lose on Wednesday night, we will have to play, if necessary, a game on Thursday evening. That time is still to be determined, so be sure and check social media if that plays out that way. But we do have to get beat twice by either Georgia or Texas in that winner's bracket. And then the Champ Series is on Saturday night at 7, I believe, Sunday afternoon, and then Monday evening. So best of 3 in that weekend series for the championship series. So again, OU is one win away from playing in a national championship. So Wednesday night, if you're listening to this the day it drops, be sure you tune in on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. to watch Oklahoma play either Texas or Georgia. And let's hope for some more Sooner magic and a Sooner win on Wednesday night so we can advance on to the championship series. Just an awesome outing for our guys. I cannot say enough. First of all, I wish that I was still there. I am so sad that I had to come back home to Oklahoma, but I am just so proud of our guys. I was a nervous wreck there at the end, such a nail biter, but what a win for our Sooners to come out, and I'm just so proud of them. And let's go get them Wednesday night. Let's get another Sooner win and go play for a national championship in the College World Series this weekend. Absolutely incredible. Okay, a few more Sooner headlines of the week that I wanted to share. Congratulations to our photographer, Morgan Givens of Oklahoma, for winning the 2025-26 College Sports Communicators Creative and Digital Design Contest Photographer of the Year in the University Division. Morgan is behind the camera for a lot of the photos and videos and things that you see on all of the OU athletics social media across the board. So just a huge honor for him to receive that award. So wanted to give him a shout out for that accolade. Also, on the day that this episode drops on Wednesday, June the 17th, it is 80 days until kickoff for those of you who are counting down for football season. Also, we did get a few updates on our kickoff times for the season, so I wanted to share those with you. A few have already been announced. But our season opener versus UTEP on September 5th is still to be determined. So waiting on a kickoff time for that. At Michigan, it's at 11 a.m. Central. We got big noon kickoff. Our New Mexico game at home is going to be a night game on September 19th. So that might be the only night game we get all season. It's the only one that's guaranteed right now. So definitely want to mark your calendars for that one. Then we travel to Georgia on the 28th, and it is a flex game, which means it will either be in the afternoon or the evening. So a little vague here on some of these kickoff times, but it's nice to have a little idea for those who like to plan ahead a little bit. Of course, then we have a bye week the first week of October. Then we're on to Dallas for OU Texas. It's a 2:30 kickoff, again confirmed on ABC. Then we travel Back home for Kentucky on October 17th, another flex game, which again means it will be an afternoon or an evening kickoff. Then we travel to Mississippi State for another flex game on the 24th. Back home on Halloween, October 31st, another flex game, afternoon or evening kickoff for South Carolina. Then we hit the road to Florida, November 7th, another flex game. Back home with Ole Miss on November 14th for an afternoon kickoff. So that means a 2:30 or 3:30 kickoff for that one against Ole Miss. Then we host Texas A&M at home on November 21st, and we do have an early kickoff on that one, which will either be 11 a.m. or noon. Then we close out the season on the road at Missouri on November 28th for an afternoon kickoff, which will be either 2:30 or 3:30. Now, I do realize some of that is about as clear as mud, but it does give you some ideas if you're looking at certain games that you might want to attend or trying to plan other things. That'll give you something to go off of. Also, on the football front, just a quick note, our former Sooner Wanye Morris was traded from the Chiefs to the Falcons for the new season, so he will be playing in Atlanta with former Sooner Billy Bowman as well. Okay, on to women's basketball. Shout out to Anna Yanusa, is a former Sooner basketball standout from Choctaw. She is one of the most accomplished players to come out of the state. 2017 Oklahoma Gatorade Player of the Year. She starred at Choctaw High School, where she led the Yellow Jackets to the Class 6A state championship in 4 consecutive state appearances. She has a 6-year career with the Sooners. She earned numerous accolades, including multiple all-conference selections. She also earned her master's degree in human relations and has continued to impact her community through coaching, mentoring young athletes, and developing future generations of basketball players. Her journey of her basketball career serves as an example of perseverance, dedication, and excellence both on and off the court. She was just named the head women's basketball coach at Norman High School. So shout out to Anna Yanusa. So excited to see our former Sooners excelling on and off the court. And if you're in the Norman area, you can go out and support Norman High School women's basketball and support our former Sooner. On to men's gymnastics. Francisco Velez Belendez will represent Puerto Rico at the 2026 Central American and Caribbean Games, July 24th through August the 8th in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Also, Team USA is back in the training gym in Rio de Janeiro. They are preparing for the Pan Am competition to begin on June 17th. Again, Sooners Yul Mulder and Hunter Simpson will represent with Coach Mark Williams in that event. Also, our Sooner Vitaly Gomeres will be representing Brazil in that competition as well. On to softball. I attended the OKC Spark professional softball team, their season opener with the AUSL last Tuesday night. I had so much fun. Shout out to Sydney, Cheryl's mom, Michelle. She sat next to me and my niece and got to talking with her. I just love her so much. She's so sweet. So shout out, Michelle. It was so nice to meet you. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I told her that I give Sydney a shout out on the pod quite regularly, even though she's not an OU girl. She is an Oklahoma girl from Moore. And so I'm so glad that she represents us with the Oklahoma City Spark. And I cannot wait to get out to another game this season. I am planning to attend the game on Thursday, July the 9th. So if you're looking for a game to go to, I would love to see you there and come on out to that one. It's such a great time to support our former Sooners in the AUSL. Also, on that note, our former Sooner Sid Berzon was added to the Volt roster from the reserve pool just this past weekend. So shout out to our girl Sid as she is joining the AUSL as well. Just a reminder, our Sooners that are in the AUSL, and I do apologize. I know last week I read off some names and I totally left off Kalani Ricketts, and I don't know how I could forget the one and only Kalani Ricketts, but I do apologize for that. But her and Alyssa Brito play for the Carolina Blaze. Also, we have Jocelyn Allo and Alana Ogbayani with the Chicago Bandits, Kinsey Hansen, Haley Lee, and Sid Romero with the OKC Spark, Sam Landry, Kelly Maxwell with the Portland Cascade, Raleigh Boone, Tiara Jennings with the Texas Volts, and Jada Coleman with the Utah Talons. And also, I do apologize. I believe I told you the wrong team on Jada Coleman on last week's episode as well. So I just totally bombed all the information last week, apparently. But Jada Coleman with the Utah Talons. Now, also, I will note that Kinsey Hansen and Jocelyn Allo are both on the temporary inactive list with their teams. Jocelyn just had a baby just about 8 weeks ago. So she, as far as I know, from what I've heard, she will be making an appearance later in the summer. And Kinsey Hansen just announced her pregnancy. She just got married to our former Sooner, Kobe McKenzie, earlier this year. I'm not sure of her status for the summer since she just announced her pregnancy, if she'll be playing, but she still is very active with the Spark organization and representing them at other events and things like that. So I just wanted to make that note. Also, a quick shout out to our former Sooner Michelle Gascon, who was named the head coach for Colorado State softball. Also, shout out to our freshman catcher, Kendall Wells, for adding another accolade to her already historic debut season, earning the 2026, this is a huge one, the Johnny Bench Award that was just announced last week. The Johnny Bench Award recognizes the top D1 baseball and softball catchers in the country. Wells became the first freshman in D1 softball history to win the award, and she's just the second Sooner ever to win the award, joining Kinsey Hansen, who won it in 2023. Also, big update on the transfer portal, and when I recorded last week's episode, I checked social media right before I pressed record. I didn't want to miss anything, and of course, I'm not joking. As soon as I quit recording, got everything uploaded for the podcast, Cassidy Pickering was announced to go into the portal. Now, I have mentioned her before. There were some rumors about her going into the portal, and unfortunately, they were true. The crazy thing is she was in Lawrence, Kansas last weekend with a couple of the other softball girls supporting our baseball team. And so, honestly, I kind of just assumed that ship had sailed and she wasn't going in the portal, especially after seeing her there. But unfortunately, she did. So the only 4 Sooners currently sitting in the transfer portal as I'm recording this on Monday, June the 15th. It's 5 p.m. So if there's any other changes or updates on that, I will update on next week's episode. Also, none of those girls have landed in a new place yet. So as soon as those places are announced, I will update as well. The portal now has been open for 1 week, and I believe has 1 more week of active for you to be able to enter. Now, that doesn't mean once it closes, people can still come out of it. Other teams can still pick them up, things like that. But there is still 1 more week of active portal opening. So the 4 Sooners that have currently gone into the portal are Tia Malloy, the Zake sisters, Berkeley and Riley, and Cassidy Pickering. But we have received some variation of I'm back from several OU softball players on social media. One of those being Kai Miner, Alyssa Parker, Miley Guccino, Lexi McDaniel, several others. And so it's always good to see those girls announce their intention to return. A few shout outs to our tennis guys. 5 ITA Central Region Awards were handed out to Sooners this past week. Nick Kroll was Coach of the Year, Luis Alvarez, Senior Player of the Year, Johan Rodriguez, Rookie of the Year, Asai Harazaki, Most Improved Player, and Ben Dunbar was Assistant Coach of the Year. Also for our women, several other ITA Central Region Awards as well. Senior Player of the Year, Julia Garcia Ruiz, who I had on the podcast earlier this spring. Love, love, love her. Congratulations to her for that. Rookie of the Year, Evelina Lesevich. Player to watch, Gloriana Nahum. And Assistant Coach of the Year, Mariana Cobra. Also, we had several Sooners on tour for both our men's and women's current and former Sooners. You can be sure and check social media for all of the updated information on that. Check the OU men's and women's tennis accounts. Okay, quick update for our track and field crew who headed to Eugene, Oregon for the national championship this past week. Our men's team finished 16th place with 16 points, matching the program's second highest outdoor finish since 2007. Also, shout out to Kennedy Stringfellow. His Tracktown debut ended with an honorable mention award as he finished 21st in the men's long jump. Colton Rhodes capped his second visit to the championships with honorable mention. Kennedy Clark recorded her mark in the women's hammer throw to earn honorable mention All-American recognition. Domchilo Terudo is the freshman phenom. She continued her incredible debut season, clocking to finish 10th in the women's 10,000 meter and earned second team All-American honors at her first championships. Also, in her second race, she finished with second team All-American honors and a top 16 finish in the 5,000 meter. Also, shout out to my guy, Ralford Mullings. Had him on the podcast earlier this spring with his wife, Maggie. He repeats as an NCAA Outdoor Discus Championship with a winning throw, back-to-back podium finishes. Congratulations to him. Kyron Washington Jr., he cleared to finish 11th in the men's high jump and earned second team All-American honors at his third appearance in the championships. And shout out to our guy, BJ Green, who finished third and took home the bronze medal as a senior in the men's long jump with his finish to mark his illustrious collegiate career on the podium and a first team All-American. And shout out to Chesney Scott, a second team All-American after throwing a season best to take 12th in the women's discus at her debut at the national championships. And shout out to senior Angel Richmore, who kept her fantastic Oklahoma career in the heptathlon to earn honorable mention recognition. So congratulations to all of our track and field athletes for a fantastic season and for those who finished so well and those on the podium in Eugene, Oregon. Also want to give a quick shout out to my girl Iva Kuvikova. Had her on the podcast earlier this year. She is back home in the Czech Republic this summer representing her country, and she just finished with the mixed relay with several other athletes this past weekend. They snatched the championship title in short mixed relay for OklaOmaha, which was awarded for the first time ever in history. So congratulations to Eva and her relay team for that amazing win. Also, just a reminder, my girl Leah Brandon Reeves had her on the podcast just a couple weeks ago talking about her rowing. She is currently still at the USA team invites, awaiting results to find out if she is making Team USA to travel to Germany this summer. So I'll be updating you on that as soon as possible. If you want to go give her a follow on social media, she's been documenting in her stories on Instagram every day, and she's been so much fun to follow. So I cannot wait to hear the results of the trials. Also, shout out to our men's golfers, Ryder Cohen and Jace Summey, two Sooners, both of them all Americans. Fantastic seasons for them, so shout out to them. Also, as you know, on today's episode with my flag football girls, I'm so excited for you guys to hear this episode. But just a reminder, there's so many club sports at OU, so I hope that you will go on Instagram and give them all a follow. We have rugby, lacrosse, women's flag football, hockey, so many club sports, so many athletes representing our university. So I hope that you'll go and check them out on social media. Okay, on to our Sooner MVPs of the week. First of all, I failed to mention on last week's episode that my MVP of the week was our baseball team punching their ticket to Omaha for the 12th time in program history. So I just wanted to give another shout out to them for that. But also on this week, another shout out to our baseball team for their fantastic win in Game 1 of the World Series. And I'm looking forward to another great week watching them play baseball in Omaha. Also, again, shout out to my guy, Ralford Mullings, for back-to-back national championships in discus, BJ Green, bronze in the men's triple jump, and all of our track and field natty contenders for being my MVPs of the week. Okay, to end this segment with a Sooner fun fact. The Oklahoma Sooners won the 1951 Men's College World Series and became the first team in tournament history to claim the title with a perfect 7-0 undefeated record. In doing so, they helped OU secure a rare triple crown by winning the national titles that same year in football, wrestling, baseball, again in the same academic year. So pretty cool. So again, thank you all so much for your overwhelming support. I cannot thank you enough. I hope that you'll go give me a follow on every platform. If you're on there, I'm on there. Please go give me a follow at Sooner Girl Pod. Make sure that you are downloading and subscribing to the podcast on all of your podcast apps. And if you would like to scroll down and give me a 5-star review, I would greatly appreciate it. Again, go pick up your merch, soonergirl.bigcartel.com. I've got visors, koozies, tanks, and so many fun things for summer. So I hope you'll go snag some of your favorites. Ladies, I have my June online huddle for our locker room girls coming up next week on Tuesday, the 23rd. I would love to see you there. If you want more information on that, you can go check out my Substack. Also, make sure you're subscribed on Substack for free to get the playbook, our monthly newsletter that I put out each month. It will go straight to your inbox for free. Also, if you're interested in advertising opportunities or sponsoring the show, you can shoot me an email at soonergirlsportspod@gmail.com, or you can message me on social media. Again, make sure you're following me on all the platforms at Sooner Girl Pod. And you will find my link tree. It's my link in bio on all of the platforms, and everything I just mentioned here and more. You can find it all linked right there. So on to my interview for this week's guest from the OU women's flag football team, Maya, Hira, and Jayden Dapper. I was so excited to talk to these girls. Y'all know I'm a big football fan. And seeing women getting involved in the sport and making a mark just truly makes my heart happy. And these girls are trailblazers. They have done the work to get this club set up, to get the rights to use the OU logo. Again, it is a club sport, so they are depending on support from us fans, and they do a t-shirt fundraiser. I am wearing the shirt in the interview. If you're watching the video, you can see that shirt that I do have on while I'm interviewing them. So happy to support them. And so I hope that you will go and give them your support. Follow them on social media. You can find the club Instagram at OU Women's Flag Football. So go give them a follow so you don't miss any updates about them. But Quick intro for our girls. Maya&Jayden is the founding president and head coach of the first ever women's flag football club team at OU. She has been playing flag football since she was 5 years old. She was the first girl to play in the local all-boys league and coached flag football for 6 years. She also played golf competitively for 10 years and rose to be one of the top golfers in the state of Tennessee, where she grew up. Maya is currently about to enter her junior year as a sports business major on the pre-law track. She created the club team to both increase the opportunities for women in football and to give herself an opportunity to play. And if you're not familiar, the Strike League is an Oklahoma City-based league, but flag football is growing all across America at the collegiate level, especially. Strike League is a big part of that. Our team is a part of that Strike League. And so just truly get on the train early with the flag football, because you're not going to want to miss out with this one for sure. Okay, Maya, her dad went to OU, so she was born a Sooner fan, even though she grew up in Tennessee. And one of her favorite Sooner memories was the OU Tennessee game in 2015 when Baker Mayfield led the amazing comeback at Neyland. You can find Maya on Instagram at Maya&Jayden Flag Football, and I will link that in the show notes along with our team Instagram handle as well. With Maya on the video is Jayden Dapper. She just graduated with a major in biology, and she is looking to go into medical sales. She loves sports of all kinds, and in her free time, she loves to play the guitar. She became a Sooner fan because her grandma loves OU, and her favorite Sooner memory is running to football games with her friends as fast as she can to get front row seats. I definitely related to her on that one, but you can find Jayden on Instagram at Jayden Dapper, and again, the club Instagram is at OU Women's Flag Football. I will link all of this in the show notes. I hope that you will go give them a follow, give them your support. I was so excited to talk to these girls, and I know that you will enjoy this amazing conversation. Trailblazers, girls making a way in the world of sports, and it makes my heart truly happy. So I hope you all enjoy my interview with Jayden and Maya. And next week, I have another fantastic interview with our lacrosse player, Lauren Clark. So I will see you next Wednesday, where we talk sports. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk to you guys. I have my shirt on.
Love.
Well, football is one of my favorite sports. And I have to say, if I were still your age, which I am nowhere near your age, but if I was, I would definitely be interested in playing on your team. So, Maya, you said that you've been playing flag football for quite some time now.
Yes. I started when I was 5 years old, and there weren't any girls' leagues or even co-ed leagues in Knoxville, where I grew up in Tennessee. And so we found a boys' league, and I was the first girl to ever join. And it was like a big deal then, but then I played for 7 years maybe, and by my last year, like, there was a girl on every team. So,
that's incredible.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so since you mentioned Tennessee, I have to bring up what you said about one of your favorite Sooner memories being the Baker Mayfield comeback.
Yes.
And that is also one of my favorite memories as well. Of course, him planting the flag at Ohio State is definitely up there as well. So were you at that game when he did that?
Yes. So
okay.
Our house is like 20 minutes from Neyland Stadium. So
that's awesome.
When it was announced that they were playing, we were for sure going. We had like 40 members of our family at the game. And I was in fourth grade at the time. And all I was thinking the whole time was, we have to win so I can go bully all the Tennessee fans at school tomorrow. And I did. I gloated so much after that game.
I love that. That is awesome. Okay, so you were in fourth grade when that happened. That is really funny to think. So I graduated from OU in 2003. So you two were not even born yet. But I do remember that day. I feel like it was almost yesterday, if we're being honest, because I can't believe it's been 10 years ago that happened. But that was a fun moment for sure. Okay, so Jayden, you were talking about some of your favorite Sooner memories are you and your friends running to get good seats at the football game. And when I read that, I chuckled, because that was my job back in the day. It was me and about 3 or 4 guys, and we would always run and save seats for all of our friends. So I feel your excitement on that for sure.
Oh yeah, I know. It was so fun. We would walk from the dorms and then like get there like 4 hours before the game.
Yes.
And then right when we were like second in line, and we would just like bolt past everybody. But
I love it.
It's so fun to be right there in the front. So.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. My place that I like to sit back in the student section. So it was when it was more toward the middle of the field, and we like to sit on the 40-yard line, 40 rows up. So that was my place to sit. Of course, now you guys are over in the corner. But yeah, you can't beat a front row seat for sure. So okay, well, I want to talk to you girls about the team and the program and how it got started, because you guys are obviously integral parts to getting this going. And so I want to hear all about it. Like, how did this get started? Whose idea was it? And just kind of where it came from.
I gotta say it. Maya was the master behind all of this.
Awesome.
I mean,
I love
if
it.
If it weren't for her, it wouldn't have ever been a thing.
I love it. I love it. So you guys, of course, not being a sanctioned sport, have had to do a lot of fundraising and a lot of hard work behind the scenes just to get things rolling. So tell me a little bit about that, and maybe some different ways that people can support you guys.
Yeah, for sure. We get zero funding from the university, but as a sport club, we do get the rights to the interlocking logo.
Yes.
Which has been nice. And so
Yes.
One way we've done fundraising is the t-shirt sales. So people buying our shirts has been super incredibly helpful. We did an e-teams fundraiser. So that was a good way to get the whole team involved and kind of get buy-in from all the members of our team. And we raised about $10,000 from that, which is incredible.
Awesome. That is awesome.
And yeah, just asking friends and family for donations, if anything they could spare helped us. So,
and we reached out to a couple businesses like Dick's, and then I think Cane's.
Oh, cool.
But we're waiting on their responses.
Okay, all right. Well, fingers crossed. I wish I knew somebody at those places to poke them for you. So I've talked to a couple of different club athletes, and they always talk about the responsibility that you guys have of your own equipment and toting that equipment to and from all the places that you go to, and working to make your own schedule to get teams to come to Norman and then find places for you to go. So I know you guys are kind of in the midst of that now, or will be here soon. So tell me a little bit about that. I do know flag football is something that's taking off, which is good. I've seen a couple of schools in Texas that have it coming up soon, new teams starting. And so you guys are at the beginning of, I would just say, your trailblazers in this, so to speak. So tell me a little bit about what it's like for you guys getting this rolling and reaching out to other schools and teams, and kind of how that's going to work with your schedule.
Yeah. As far, like we had just talked about fundraising, as far as we go, like with equipment and stuff, we were really lucky to raise a lot of money and not have to pay for so much travel this semester, since we just got it rolling.
Yes.
So we bought all of our jerseys, shorts, flags, cones and stuff with that money. And then a couple assistant coaches have like donated some balls to us that we've gotten to use. Cool. That are really nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And okay, so you guys, your schedule officially will be starting in the fall. Is that correct?
Yes. So there's a new club league being created. Like right now, we're in the process of writing the bylaws for this league, the National Flag Football Club Association. And we were actually the very first school to join with them.
Okay.
Which is exciting. But there are going to be over 60 teams, Georgia, Florida. Basically, they've got a club team they're planning on joining.
Okay, cool.
The club. And so our schedule, like the forms we have to fill out for schedule requests, are due in August. So we'll get our schedules back sometime then. But I just got the email today, actually, that all of us have voted on different rules. So like our conference series is going to be 2 games. Player eligibility rules. So a student, once they start college, will have 6 years to complete 5 years of eligibility playing club. So things like that. It's really exciting.
Okay, so where do you guys play in, or where will you be playing in Norman?
Just on the OU intramural field. That's where most of the club sports play.
Okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. So I will for sure be watching for your schedule to come out later this summer into the fall, and I'll be sharing that, of course, and plan to get out and support you guys for sure. So tell me a little bit about what you guys have been doing this spring. I know you've traveled some and had some competition and trying to get things going. So tell me a little bit about what you guys have been up to this spring and just how it's gone as you're starting to get things going.
Yes. Well, we started out doing practice 2 times a week, but like you said, getting 18 college students to agree on 2 times a week with school, it's really difficult.
I can imagine.
So we just moved it to one day on Wednesdays, and then at the beginning we had some open practices, just trying to recruit people
Yeah.
and spread the game. We stood outside on the South Oval a day and just kind of walked up to people and we're like,
Yeah.
hey, you should think about joining this. So we've had practice, rain or shine, every day, every Wednesday since then. And then a couple weeks ago, I think it was 2 weekends ago now, we traveled down to Houston for our first 2 games.
Yeah, the
Awesome.
beginning of the season was really about just recruiting people because we had a team of like 5 who came to our interest meeting, and it was like the board. So we had no one. We're like, we gotta get some people, and then once now we gotta teach them how to play football. So it was all like start from the foundations. Some people didn't know the rules, so it's crazy to think how far everyone's come.
That's awesome.
Throw a football, like proper way to catch it.
Uh-huh.
It was really awesome. So we started from scratch, and like you would not think seeing us play that we're a team that had girls who didn't know how to play football or didn't know the rules of football 3 months ago.
That is awesome.
We originally weren't going to have a game this season because, it's crazy to have that scale of development.
Right.
Would have liked more time before then, but Jayden's a senior, and it was really important to me that we would get one game at least with Jayden before this ended. So we made sure when Texas Southern offered to host us, I said, absolutely, we have to go.
Yeah.
Jayden's
I love that.
Yeah,
so
it was super fun too. It was really a trip. It was up Saturday, 6 hours, back Sunday, 6 hours. And
my goodness.
like Maya was saying, Maya and one other girl were really the only people who had experience playing.
Wow.
Before January, including myself. I mean, I played intramural and, ran around and, ran in a straight line and came back. But yeah, I mean, it's really amazing to like see, how everybody grew over the last 4 months because, I mean, some people sometimes get it and they don't. And I would say all of our players really got it pretty quickly.
I love that. That is so cool. Well, like you said, I know you had no intention of competing that early on since the inception of the team, but I'm glad that you, Jayden, got to participate in that.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
Y'all got to experience it and get a little game time under your belts, and I think that'll be nothing but good going forward, even for the rest of the girls, just to have that experience. And, so, Maya, I know you mentioned about you wanting to create this opportunity in this team because you wanted to give women that space to play football and learn about football. You've talked a little bit about that and just those challenges that have come along with that. So tell me just a little bit about your passion for being able to involve women in sports, because obviously that's one of mine as well, just in a different capacity. So I want to hear you talk a little bit about that.
Well, yeah. So it started in high school where I realized I was like, man, all my friends are athletes. They all play sports, but I don't have any friends who play football. And so every year, my birthday party is a 3-hour flag football game on
I love it.
my school's football field. And so I'm like, all my friends know how to play. Like, why don't we create something out of this? And so I made basically an intramural league within my school to just show that people have interest in it. And so the first year we did it, a bunch of people played, but like it was powder puff, like girls weren't playing. And I was like, no,
right.
We're going to show that girls know how to play football. And so I just handpicked my friends. I'm like, we're going to make a dream team and we're going to beat each team 50-0 so that they know you got to take it seriously. And they're like, Maya, you're crazy. I'm like, we're going to do it. I don't care. And so that was what I wanted to. I wanted to show people that like, just because we're women, one, we can play football. We want to play football. And we're not just like laughing and giggling. Like we want to win. You know? And so it started from there. And then, I come to college and again, I'm playing intramurals and I have my own team and I've got like 3 people who they don't love football. They love me. So they play football for me. I'm like, man, I want to have some friends who play football. There's got to be more people. Like OU is huge. And so I started doing was every team I went up against, I'd go up to their girls. That's how I met Jayden and be like, hey, you want to join my team? I'm going to turn this into a club sport. And I told this to Jayden and our secretary Tatum, and they're like, yeah, actually, what do you need help with? We'll do it right now. Whatever you need, we're going to join your board. And I was like, absolutely, please. We need it. And so that's how it got started. And just like, it's something I love so much, but I knew it from a young age because my dad never said like, oh, you're a girl, you can't play football. He taught me how to throw football. when I was 5. And
Love
so
it.
there are so many people, like even my friends in high school, who they now know they love football. They just never tried it. And so the more people I can introduce it to, the better. I want to grow it as a sport. And also, like,
Absolutely.
I don't want women to feel uncomfortable playing football or knowing about football because they
Yes.
shouldn't be, right? It's not just a man's sport. It's a sport. It's for all of us.
Yes.
So.
I love that. I love that so much. I want to give you a round of applause. That was a great speech. But seriously, though, I mean, I understand where you're coming from with that, just because, you know, me being a girl, and I've always loved football. I've always learned and continue learning about football. I want to watch it. I'm not the girl that's in the kitchen talking and socializing. I'm watching and getting mad and being passionate about the game. And so, like you said, there's plenty of people to share that passion, especially at a place like OU. And you know, there's lots of girls that want that opportunity. So I think this is just amazing that you are doing this and just taking off with this idea and running with it. I think it's great. And so also you mentioned to me about, and we kind of joked a little bit about being a girl and men trying to mansplain to us and looking down on us because they think we don't know what we're talking about. And Jayden, I'm sure you have plenty of experience with this as well. Yeah. So I'll give both of you guys an opportunity to share your thoughts on that and just how you are thankful to have an opportunity to showcase your knowledge and your passion for the sport, and you're creating that platform for women. So just talk a little bit about that frustration as a woman and being mansplained to, and how you plan to combat that going forward.
You can go first.
Yeah. So, I actually played soccer for a long time, for about 12 years before I played flag football. And like you said, I mean, it happens all the time. I guess when I was in high school, my coach would make us scrimmage the boys every, once in a while. And, they're like kind of giggling and laughing, walking up to the field. And I mean, biologically, of course, they're going to win. I mean,
Right.
But I can't really think of a specific example, luckily. But yeah, I mean, it's always just like, especially with football, because it's such a male-dominated sport right now. It's just people like, oh, you guys are going to play football? And, even when we're on the intramural field and we're going to practice, and people kind of like, especially the boys will kind of be like, oh, are you going to practice for your club team? And it's like, yeah, I am. Like, I'm really excited to go too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So
it's frustrating for sure. But Maya, you go ahead and talk. I know we had talked about you dealing with like the refs.
Yeah.
So them. I can only imagine.
So yeah, we experience it as a player, but me specifically, I'm also the head coach of the team. And
yes.
It's so sometimes just the men will be like they can't comprehend the idea that a female would be a coach. Like it doesn't go through their brains. Even in high school, that team I told you I coached, and I was like, we're gonna win. I coached them for 3 months, and we had practiced like everything, game plan, we're ready. And on game day, a bunch of random dudes came up to me. They're like, hey, can we coach your team today? And I was like, what do you mean, can you coach? But no, you can't coach my team. Like, why do you feel entitled to that?
Oh my gosh.
And so even here, I had to tell my social media manager, like, we need to make an announcement that we have a coach and she's a girl and you can deal with it, because we get so many DMs and just random people saying, do you have a coach? X, Y, and Z should be a coach. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
I don't know why you feel like you're qualified to be our coach, because being a man is not the only skill set required.
Absolutely.
Shockingly enough. You'd never believe it. And like, I've been coaching for a long time. We coach a group of kids together. I coach my intramural team. I coach in high school, and I coach this team.
It's amazing.
And every time, it's a surprise. And I get it, right? It's not traditional, and so they're surprised. But it's the times that really stick out to me are when they like argue with me. They were like, no, you're not the coach, but yes, I am. That's what the refs were doing in Houston, which I couldn't get over, because I went up to go dispute a call, and he was like, excuse me, I'm talking to your coach. And I was like, respectfully, that's my assistant coach. I'm the head coach. And he was like, oh, I don't know what's going on here, but you don't need to be talking to me. And I was like, okay, well, I don't even know what to say to that.
Right.
So, and that's why after that, it was eye-opening, because in this kids league, I've been coaching long enough that I don't experience any backlash because I'm a woman. The parents respect me, the players respect me, and across the league, all the other teams know who I am because I yell a lot. And so they think of me as a legitimate coach.
Love it.
And so I don't know, I forgot that people don't respect women as coaches. And so going to Houston was a good reminder. I'm like, man, we got to do something about this.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
I talked to the board and I was like, I want you to make an announcement, make a post on our Instagram, not just that we have a coach, so we'll stop getting offers to be coached, but that it's a girl and that the world didn't explode when that happened, you know?
Right.
Like, we're still okay.
Oh my gosh.
I was even told, like, we're not going to look legitimate if you're the coach because all the big schools have male coaches. I'm like, I don't care.
Oh my gosh.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Like I said, they can think we're clowns as long as we're legitimate on the field when we play. We have a legit chance to win. That's all I care about.
Yes, absolutely. But it does always feel good when you're able to prove to them that you did know what you were talking about.
For sure. Yeah. Yes, I told you so is my favorite thing to say.
Absolutely.
I'll say, this is my gut instinct is to have this lineup or to do this play. And they're like, no, that doesn't work. In my years of coaching, that doesn't work. I'm like, I don't care. My coach gut says we're doing it. And in my years of coaching, it works. And then we do it and it works. And I get to say, I told you so.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, your experience counts just as much as any experience and knowledge that they have. So
yeah,
it's really frustrating. And I know it's been a few years now, but there was the first female referee in the Super Bowl. And that was like a big to do and people all up in arms about it. And I know that there's been a few female coaches, assistant coaches, not head coaches yet in the NFL. And things like that. But when you see women like that are breaking the glass ceiling and just pushing their way forward in that male dominated sport, and it does happen in other sports, but football is special because it's mainly geared toward men. And so to see women, like I said, just breaking that glass ceiling and pushing their way in to be a part of that is truly remarkable. And I love what you're saying and what you're doing as far as, like I said, your experience and your knowledge does not weigh any less than anybody else's, regardless if they're male or female. And so for you to have that audacity to stand up and be like, hey, I know what I'm talking about. We're going with my gut and we're going to make this work. And I love that for you. And you know what? Even if your decision didn't work out the way that you wanted to, you still had the audacity to make that decision and to execute it and make it happen. And you'll learn from it and grow from it going forward, and make the changes necessary. So it's just crazy to think sometimes as women, the things that we have to do to feel worthy in the world of sports. And so, and I know this is crazy. I was at the spring football game and a couple of guys recognized me from social media, like grown men, and they holler at me and they say, hey, can we take a picture with you? And I was like shocked because part of me is like, are they making fun of me? And the other part of me is like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Well, they were actually really cool, legit, like super kind about it. Like they really did. They weren't making fun of me. Mm-hmm. And I sat there and I was thinking, it's really cool to have that validation from a grown man or whatever, but also like, why do we feel like we need that? Like, why did that make me feel better that 3 grown men recognized me and gave me that validation? Like, I mean, yeah, it feels good, but like, why do I need that? Which, I mean, obviously I don't. I'm still going to keep doing what I'm doing, but it's just crazy to think like that shouldn't be our standard. That shouldn't be our goal, is to get men to applaud us. We should just own ourselves and what we're doing and go on and just deal with it regardless of how they feel about what we're doing. So I love what you were saying. I didn't mean to go off on my soapbox. But yeah, I just love what you're doing. And I think this is incredible. And I hope that people get out and support you guys at your games when that time comes. And when you have fundraisers, I'll of course do my best to help promote those as well. But okay, so is there anything else that you guys want to talk about as far as the team goes, or maybe your hopes with the team going forward and just the league in general?
Yeah, like we were talking about, I mean, Maya has done a really good job, and all of us at making sure this is super geared towards women and keeping that kind of focus. And not necessarily, it doesn't have to be about suppressing men, but that's not what it's about. It's about building up women, and that is the
absolutely.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that because, like we talked about, it's really male dominated. So I think just looking into next year, getting more people, seeing who else is interested, having that, making sure that legitimacy is established, and just, practicing again once a week and, being the best we can to go out and compete because we're going to have a full set of games next season.
That's awesome.
I'm
love
super
it.
excited about it. I think, like, on playing in Houston, it really showed us what we need to work on, but also we're not that far off from where we need to
Good.
be,
I love it.
which is really exciting. And also, this wasn't even to make a statement, that's a cherry on top, but my new assistant head coach is also a girl, and she could just out scheme on defense probably 90% of the population. She's just good at what she does.
I love it.
And so I'm excited to implement our two brains to see what we can come up with. Because that's the other thing, is that, like, men like to do traditional game plans when it comes to football because tried and true. Like me, I've never played tackle football. I've never coached tackle football. So I don't think of tackle football when I'm making game plans. I get dreams of plays and I'll wake up and write them down. So I think we have a really outside the box approach, but I think it's going to give us a unique team. And I think that's in our favor.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so Jayden, with you being a senior and your time has been limited with the team, I know that you will move on, but you'll still be supporting them. But what are some things that you want to leave behind as, quote, your legacy, so to speak? Or what is something that you want your teammates to have learned from you after you depart?
My favorite thing, what I always say is I like to think I'm a really positive person, at times obnoxious and loud, and
Love it.
can really get hyper. And with that, telling people to kind of get outside their comfort zone, try something new. Like I said, I just started playing flag football 4 months ago, and I ended up loving it. Like, my thing, I would say try new things, unapologetically be you, and chase your dreams. Do what you want to do, act how you want to act, be crazy if you want to be crazy, and come to practice. And when it's serious and it's game time, get serious and focus up. But that's what I've always said.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's really sad. Our team is about to lose half its personality when Jayden goes, and then I'm the other half of the personality, but I'm negative all the time. And so we're gonna need to do something about that.
Well, I hope that you find another loud person to not replace you, but to kind of fill that gap that you're leaving behind, because I feel like I'm somewhere in between you guys. I can definitely see the negative side of things sometimes, but I sure am awful loud, so I totally understand that. Well, I'm just really excited for you girls and everything that y'all have said of just enjoying yourself and being yourself and taking chances and all the things. It truly resonates with me, because that's my goal with what I'm doing. And for you guys to sit here and just reiterate that and say that, and that's what you guys are doing with this team and your lives. And I just love that so much. And it truly makes me happy to see young girls have the audacity that you have to make a path and do what you want to do, and you don't care what other people are saying, because that's truly a big secret in life for sure. Once you figure that out, good things will happen. So it really excites me just hearing what you girls have to say.
Just to anyone who is thinking about supporting us or thinking about joining, it's not just a strict practice all the time trying to build a program. We're a family, and it's a community. So, like, part of me built this because I wanted friends who play flag football, or, I can say, hey, you want to go to the field and we'll just play catch like that. And we can do that now. And it's awesome.
Yeah, love it.
And also you don't have to have any experience at all. Just come join. We just come be a part of the family, whether you're a supporter or a player.
I love
want you. Everyone will have a purpose and is welcome.
Yeah, we have someone right now who doesn't play and is part of the club too, and she loves it.
Yeah.
Oh, so
she's so critical. She's our social media manager, and she does so much for us, and I never would have expected it. And honestly, I never would have even thought that people would want to be a part of the club but not play, because I wouldn't want to do that. But I'm glad that I've learned that she did, and that people might want to, because there is space for everyone.
That is so cool that she wants to be involved and support in a different way, even though she's not on the field. So that's awesome, because you need someone to do that, and that's a full-time job in and of itself sometimes. So that's so cool. What are you guys' plans like during the summer? I know, everybody kind of scatters during the summer. Are you guys going to try to just keep up maintaining what you're doing, I guess, workout wise, on your own in the summer, and then you'll reconvene in the fall, I'm assuming?
Yeah, so that's my plan. I'm gonna send different like drills you can do that
Yeah.
doesn't require a lot of equipment. I'm making a quarterback change, so I don't want to play quarterback anymore. But I have all the drills that it needs, so I'll be sending those to my quarterback, not to do all the time, but just if you have time, you want to get a workout in. This
Right,
is something
yeah.
you can do if you have one person or two people. Personally, I'll be training because life is too boring without football, so I need it.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, I think the same. I mean, of course, next semester I'll come and support, and I'll be at the games, especially when they're at home.
Yes.
And whenever I have free time. But yeah, in the summer I always go through a phase in April and May where I go to the gym for like 2 or 3 weeks, look back up, and then but yeah, just hanging around, seeing what they're up to, and still supporting however I can.
Awesome. Well, I am super excited for the season in the fall, and I definitely plan to make it out to see you guys. Now, tell me, and you may not even know the answer to this, but do you have any idea when you guys will be playing? Will it be during the week or on weekends, or how is that going to work? Do you have any idea?
I think it'll be on weekends.
Okay, cool.
And ideally, we'll have the 2 games in one day instead of overnight, so that teams have the option of coming and leaving the same day, so that travel doesn't get too expensive.
Yeah.
Because we know it's the same situation across the board for all the schools. No one gets funding for this.
Yeah.
So we want to make it as friendly to that as possible. Yeah, ideally a Saturday or a Sunday is when our games will be.
Awesome. Okay. Well, and again, I know you bringing up funding, and I've talked to lacrosse players and a club hockey player, and just hearing you guys and the commitment that you have to your sport and to the discipline, and on top of everything else that you have going on with your personal lives and school and all of that, you guys often get overlooked. And I know that's just naturally how it is, but I really love showcasing you guys and your club sports, because you guys, like I said, you put in so much work like every other athlete, and you don't get the funding, you don't get the recognition, you don't get the support that you need. And I want to do my best to try to help change that. So I appreciate you guys sharing all of the things and sharing your stories about the team. And I'm looking forward to it for sure. I can't wait to get out and support you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying that, and thank you for all your support. I mean, you got your shirt on.
Yes!
Thank you for having us on the show to,
Of course.
Get out and spread our word and spread our name a little bit more.
No, yeah,
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. You having us here gives us so much more legitimacy. It's amazing what you've done, and we're so grateful that you have let us be a part of this.
Of course. Well, thank you. And again, I couldn't do this without you guys and athletes giving me your time and your story, and it truly means a lot. So thank you.